Hello! In today's Archaeoscoop, my top 3 headlines are as follows. Headline number 1 comes from just outside Machu Picchu in Peru, where archaeologists have uncovered a new Incan Road approaching the famous site. It's been found in the Machu Picchu Archaeology Park, as you might expect, and is around about 1.5 kilometers long. It varies in width between 1.2 and 1.4 meters wide, and that just depends on where it is, the terrain, essentially what the terrain allows. It actually connects, now this is going to be pronounced horribly, Huayracantumbo with Machu Picchu, and actually allowed people in the past a wonderful view of Machu Picchu as they approached it. So actually it's a remarkable thing, really. It's sort of actually, as one person says, that it's actually helped the archaeology park to solve one of their tourist issues, and that is having another entrance to, or another way of approaching the site, which also has a spectacular viewpoint. So it turns out the Incas were way ahead of them on that. But more than that, more than simply solving some tourist issues today, it's also actually been already stated as one of the best examples of Incan engineering yet discovered. So some restoration will be ongoing in the next few months, and it sounds like they're hoping to open it as soon as they possibly can, once the road has been cleared. So an interesting find, a new road approaching a very famous site, and it also seems to have solved a modern issue. So wonderful Incas, eh? Well done. That's headline number 1. Headline number 2 is following on from the Queen's speech here in Britain. The Queen opens Parliament, for those of you who don't know, and what she does is she will state what her government is going to be doing in the coming session of Parliament. And in the coming session of Parliament, once again, it seems the coalition government, effectively led by the Conservatives, that's I suppose the right side of the spectrum in the UK, they are revisiting legislation linked with infrastructure, and this will have an effect on archaeology. In particular, actually, for example, fracking. They're wanting to look at legislation which will allow fracking to take place in Britain, and where and how that will happen. There are hints that this new focus on infrastructure and on planning will actually be an attempt to build more houses. We do apparently have a housing crisis in the UK, but also as well it's going to be an effort to speed up the planning process. Now, as soon as you speed up the planning process, archaeologists get rather nervous because well, something has to go, and maybe that will be some of the attention that is given to the merit of a site in terms of its archaeological content. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on that as this government session progresses. That's headline number 2. Headline number 3 is once again Richard III. I know some of you are bored, oh so bored of that, and I have to say I almost am myself, but this one is quite an interesting news story, and that is that the team at Leicester have constructed, or reconstructed rather, Richard III's spine using a combination of CT scanning technology and also 3D printing. They're calling it most infamous spine ever, kind of thing, in the world has been reconstructed. So well done. Now I say that only because and I've said this in the past, it seems that Leicester University are really milking this cow as much as they can. And it's almost at the point where they're flogging a dead horse, really, because well, to be honest, the less than civil debate over where his remains should end up has somewhat taken the shine off Richard III, at least for me anyway. But nonetheless, obviously that's nothing to do with Leicester University, and this is an interesting thing. So that's headline number 3. Oh, Richard III, headline number 3, nice. Finally as well, if you want to read more about those news stories, and of course other news stories in the past few days, all you need to do is check out the video information. For example, another news story which you can find below is to do with looted stone from a Roman mint, and how what you can tell about different periods of history actually using that stone. So it's all good, baby, it's all good. So check out those news stories as and when you want to. Yeah, there you go. Until next time, do take care.